Jessica. I head up the publisher development team. From the accent, travelled over from London. I've got Ed with me as well from The Independent, head of retail media solutions, and this is your first CJU,
First
right?
CJU, yeah, absolutely.
How's it going?
Yeah, really well. Having a great time, good meetings, and just about over the jet lag, I think, and then flying home tomorrow, so back to it. But yeah.
No rest for the wicked.
No, indeed.
Today we're going to talk to you about the retail media revolution. If you made the 9 o'clock session with Stacey and Ivan, it was just really good. He was like, wake up! It's time now to really kind of like get going. And when Ed and I spoke, we have events in London, and I think your colleague at the time was supposed to be there, but then he went on paternity leave. So Ed kind of steps in. Was that the first time you've been to an affiliate event before?
First CJ one I'd been to was the travel one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
And you went straight into it, you were networking, and
Yeah.
that's how we kind of came up with this idea, because I was being educated on the retail media network that they're doing at The Independent. Do you want to kind of go into a little bit of the situation where we're seeing a challenge, right? So we are no longer commission junction. We want to really kind of reference those commerce journeys. How do we manage to tap in to kind of go beyond the transaction and ensure that, to summarize the talk that Stacey did, retail media can be split into on-site and off-site. And I think Ivan mentioned that the opportunity is 16 billion with a B. And I love the fact that we've got The Independent here. We're going to really kind of dig into the detail of how to layer into that data, how to find opportunities, and maybe for publishers, I can see a lot of purple lanyards. Definitely here to help the publishers figure out that. So we're going to do a live Q&A at the end as well. But also for retailers, we really want to tap into that budget and help you see that kind of full funnel, like that ROAS, and how to help you tap into new audiences. So we're going to go from affiliate to influence. So what kind of challenges did you see from a publisher point of view, especially within the content commerce space?
Yeah, so I think, particularly in the content affiliate space, like the challenge we've got is like, how do we get to know our audience at a deeper level? How do we build that relationship with our audiences? We know there's lots of, it's like an onslaught of like AI, like zero click and just constant Google algorithm updates, which The Independent seems to get hit with quite a lot. But you're certainly seeing, like the likes of the New York Times and Condé Nast really sort of thinking deeply about how do we build deeper relationships with our audience, create reasons to come back to us, and we're not relying on like Google search, for instance, people typing in like best mattress and finding us through Google, because we can't really rely on Google anymore. So it's about building those deeper relationships. And then when we start to think about retail media, it's all about that first party data. So probably up to now, The Independent never really did a good job in sort of the commerce content space of really deeply understanding that audience and getting the signals about really what they're doing. We got the data from CJ and other affiliate networks and tracking that attribution, but we weren't connecting that data to content consumption of like what our audience was doing, how they were behaving, referencing the keynote, like really understanding the behaviors of our audience and what they're doing before they click on a product and go and make a purchase. So, and really like the promise of retail media is first party data.
Yes.
And it's kind of full funnel attribution, closed loop. And I think for a publisher who, we do consider ourselves a commerce destination, and we know our readers are coming to us to make purchasing decisions. 78% of our audience comes to us looking for inspiration. So it's how do we connect those dots and be able to say to advertisers, yeah, we are a full funnel, closed loop attribution engine or commerce engine for you. And obviously we want to tap into some of those budgets that are pouring into retail media, because programmatic yields are dropping and impressions are dropping, all that kind of stuff, and where the budgets are going into retail media, we feel we've got a right to play there because of why the audience is coming to us and why they're behaving in the way they are.
Yeah, felt like that was a lot to digest.
Yes,
so
we're going to
talk
a lot there, didn't I?
break it down a little bit. You said over-reliance on Google, so you want to capture those signals. How are you capturing those signals? Are you using third-party solutions, or have you built in-house solutions?
Yes, so a couple of things we're using. So our DMP Permutive, we're using them to, and we've worked with them for a long time in the kind of programmatic and just like general ad space. So we're able to kind of put their tag on our site, collect different actions and so on, and start to build up that portrait of the user. And then we also work with Mantis as well, and getting open web search data again that we can kind of connect to our content and understanding our tagging schema across our site. And if someone's reading a sports page or a lifestyle page, really sort of going quite granular on the topics that people are reading, start to connect that all together to build up those audience profiles essentially. So we're working with a lot of third parties as well as trying to build capabilities in-house.
Okay. And then I know that for a lot of publishers, when you hear tag on site, it's kind of like, oh, can't do that. It's a different team. It's technical hurdles. Did you have to go through quite a few technical hurdles in order to have that kind of conversation with Permutive and these different solution providers? Or is it a case of that was already present within the data stack? Because you said that you've been at the Independent since January this year, right?
So Permutive was already on the site.
Okay.
And then I guess what we hadn't set up on our commerce pages, so I'll just pause actually. Is anyone aware of Independent IndieBest? Has anyone heard of that? A couple of shakes, a couple of nods. So IndieBest, I guess, for our American friends, is like Wirecutter or CNN underscored and so on. So we're writing reviews and guides and roundups and so on. But what we hadn't done is basically tag up that page to understand, what were people doing on those pages. I mean, we had the affiliate link that people were clicking, and we could kind of track that, but we weren't, we didn't know like X number of people were clicking on this specific CTA or using data about the product that we were showing. Is it a more expensive product, or is it actually sort of a more budget option? So now we're starting to use some of that metadata on our page to say, okay, we've got an audience of mattress buyers here who are buying the more budget option, and actually they're consuming 3 to 4 pieces of content before they click out, whereas our more affluent audience are maybe only consuming 1 piece. So we're starting to kind of connect those dots, and luckily we had Permutive already there. It was just a case of doing a bit of work and figuring out what we wanted to capture, because obviously you can capture lots of different things.
Yes.
What did we want to capture, and then just getting that set up and then letting that data build. So it took us 4 to 6 weeks to start to kind of build that data in any meaningful way that we could then start to use.
Yeah, and then obviously it's kind of educating the CMOs or the hires up that it is still connected in every way. So it's kind of filling the blanks, right? Of saying it's not just last click, we're not just pulling the transactional data through order ID, we're also pulling impressions, movement on site, and not just on desktop, right? Is it across different channels, or is it just
it'll all be through across our site, be it mobile, desktop, app. I think one of the things like I said about our audience, that they're coming to us for inspiration. So I'd commissioned a study of our audience, actually to understand from a retail media point of view, would the audience coming to IndieBest be happy with adverts on the page? So I think as a best practice in affiliate has always been to have no ads on the page, just drive towards that affiliate click, get that cookie dropped or whatever, so we can track that conversion. Don't distract from that journey. And actually, what you're hearing from a lot of the large grocery companies who are spinning up retail media networks, there's like an internal battle there between their digital team and their retail media team, because the digital team doesn't want the customer to be distracted from their shopping journey. They're coming to the site to make a transaction. We're very similar. Editorial are very protective of the IndieBest pages. They don't want ads on there. So the way we've designed our retail media ads and our units, very sympathetic to the page, feels very native, it's not intrusive. I mean, if you go on the Independent, just an independent news article, it's a bit of it's complete overload in terms of ads. It's very highly monetized, but IndieBest has been very clean. But now we're introducing these much more, sympathetic. They feel like they belong on the page.
Yeah.
They're contextually relevant, and we've got native units within our carousel, for instance, just like you'd see if you're on a Nordstrom or in the UK at Tesco's, the sponsored listings and so on, and inline ads. So it all feels like the user thinks it should be there. Anyway, I've kind of gone on a little bit. The reason I was talking about that is because we did a study of our audience to see what they thought of it. Would they react to it? Would they think it was negative or positive? And actually they thought, yeah, I really like this. I'm more likely to click because it's relevant to what I'm looking at on the page. So on our best mattress page, we're not going to have ads about trainers, we're going to have Nike trends and so on. It's going to be relevant. It might be pillows, or it might be bed sheets or other mattresses. And also we're going to make sure that any brand we feature there is a brand that we as the Independent have already tested. That's, I guess, one of our differentiators. We're really sort of testing the product, so we're not just going to let any product appear there. Maybe in time with AI we can get smart and let it kind of self-serve, but at the moment we're going to be very intentional about the brands we feature there. And then just to bring it back to your point about the CMOs, the research we did showed, that people are coming to us for inspiration. And really, I think one of the challenges content affiliates have had is, like, last click is actually a real problem for us, because consumers are coming to us to kind of be inspired, learn, research, and then they're going onto a coupon site, voucher site, cashback site. And actually, we certainly see when some networks like CJ give us a view of our role in the journey, and our conversions increased by over 40% because people have come to the Independent, they've gone to a Wirecutter, they've gone to a Forbes, but then they've gone off to a coupon site or whatever to get the discount. So I think our message to CMOs, and we've been hearing it at this conference, is actually, affiliate is more than just the do in think, feel, do, right? Actually, it can be the think and feel, and people are coming to the Independent to think and feel, like find out about the brands. And so if we can get brands investing in us and we get the right sort of data, I guess, backing it up through CJ, we can demonstrate that full funnel
absolutely
attribution.
And I think it's those things where you've said the preconceived ideas of what editorial say, don't do this, don't do that. We're now capturing that data in real time to give full transparency of where your readers are looking and what they're looking for, marrying that up with transactional data, and then obviously giving that kind of full circular economy where you can start small. You said testing, definitely, keep testing and learning and having that open conversation. Have you seen success stories? Is there a specific way where I guess with retailers here they can start with a smaller budget, and how would you see that grow over time?
So I think what we've done to date, we work with a big telco brand in the UK, and we were using LiveRamp, which is a clean room technology, and it was populated with their customer data. We uploaded our logged in user data. I think we've got about 4 million logged in Independent users, and then was suppressing known customers from that telco company, and then using that seed data to target net new customers, potential customers, but also build out lookalikes. And so that's worked really well for that brand, and they keep coming back and investing more there. So that's a signal to us that actually that using data from both the brand and us, and using those clean rooms to be able to kind of identify new audiences, or maybe it might be conquesting competitor brands and so on, is really incremental for the advertiser, and we can kind of deliver that incrementality. I guess another challenge for publishers generally, though, when you compare it to the walled gardens, is just the scale of our audience is somewhat lacking compared to if you want to go to a Meta and so on. So something that we do need to do as a kind of collective is publishers need to work together and almost create like the open web audience for brands to tap into, and that's where the off-site thing comes in, right? So that's where brands using retail media networks of a Walmart or so on, if the independent could be part of that off-site, we make inventory available so you can go find that user you want to find on the independent, or it might be on the New York Times, or it might be on CNN or something. So we very much want to be playing there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess there's you just want a piece of the pie, right? There's just ever changing, me as a consumer, my life stage is changing, my browser is changing. I don't want to be on my phone all the time. I want to be in store. I want to get that deal. And so it really is trying to capture my kind of high purchase intent when I want to buy it at the right time, which you mentioned about the mattresses, and obviously with these key telecoms brands. So I guess kind of going on from that, is there a particular way that us as CJ as a network could help you, drive more awareness to this? I know that this is why we're having this conversation right now, because it was something that we touched upon, and I kind of wanted to share it with the rest of the group. But what could CJ do better?
Well, how long we got? No. No, I mean, I think some of your solutions. So when I think about situational commissioning,
yes,
I think that's if we start to run some tests with our beta partners for our retail media offering, is that we could use situational commissioning to really sort of demonstrate the value of that campaign, but also because actually that brand, that advertiser is really taking up so much more real estate and mind share on the independent, so obviously getting rewarded for that. So I think the situational commissioning is a really interesting tool that we haven't really experimented yet with the independent, but we do need to.
Yes, I think that we're going to do another session at 3:30 and really drill down to the how, because I think if you are segmenting your audience and you truly know your audience at IndieBest, it's how do you pass that back anonymously and through a segment ID? And that's another conversation to have with engineering and data science, and once again do a test campaign. So that's something that we can definitely work on.
Absolutely. And then I think there's things like clickless tracking. Again, we know our audience actually want more video content from us, and we're starting to do video podcasts, which are obviously all the rage now. Again, you're seeing I talk about the New York Times a lot, so I read it, but they're doing a lot of video podcasts and actually using CJ's clickless tracking. You're just going where the customers are, and again, it was just the theme that was out of the Santi's speeches. Wherever the customers are, they're consuming the independent on Meta, on Spotify, on our website. And so finding them where they are and giving them an opportunity to then go and convert, and then obviously track that through clickless tracking, I think will be super powerful. So we're kind of yet to figure that out, and I think what we're looking for is a couple of partners in Q4 who want more exposure. Everyone wants more exposure in Q4. It's very noisy, and we think the retail media offering on the independent will elevate brands above the noise, and it will be a mixture of sort of incentivized fixed fee, so lower fixed fee, plus CPA, just to start getting some water through the pipes, get some data, understand what's working, what's not working, and how we then optimize as we head into 2026.
Nice, amazing. And so I guess as we wrap up, Mike, what's your key takeaway that you want the audience to run away with?
Yeah, I suppose it's content publishers are commerce destinations, and they're actually trusted environments for your brand, right? So they combine scale and influence and trust, and that's a great place for your brand to be. And when we think about affiliate marketing, like I said earlier, we don't want to just pigeonhole ourselves into the do of think, feel, do. It's you can influence that sale further up the decision-making process of the customer, and they're coming to sites like the Independent, Condé Nast sites, and New York Times to be inspired, and so that presents a great opportunity for brands to really influence that purchase. Now, obviously, we've got to track it back to an acceptable CPA, and I suppose that's one thing we always want to do, right? Is make sure we're hitting your cost of sales targets, but also delivering on other objectives as well. So I think that's my takeaway, and it seems like that's a lot of the messages I'm hearing here, that we are in this sort of commerce world now. We're not just affiliates, and we need to think bigger than just last click. So
Yeah,
it.
amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to take it over to the audience. We do have a review. If you just want to spend 2 minutes, scan the QR code, give us feedback. We always love feedback, good, bad and ugly. And if you have any Q&A, we can either stay around after and you can come directly to us, or you can just ping us an email. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess.